Canada's capital city remains under a state of emergency as police tried to rein in protests against vaccine mandates and COVID restrictions. Joining us now from in front of the West Block of Parliament in Ottawa is CTV News' Annie Bergeron-Oliver. Annie, thanks very much for your time on another busy day in Ottawa. What can you tell us about what's been happening on the ground?
Hi, John. Yeah, well, we're now at 11 days since protesters first arrived. Initially, 11 days ago, there were about 3,000 trucks and an estimated 16,000 protesters. Those numbers have gone down significantly. This weekend, police said there were about 5,000 protesters and roughly 1,000 trucks. As you can tell behind me, there is still gridlock in the downtown core. This city is normally extremely bustling now. There are trucks that are parked all along the side. Police have begun increasing enforcement, issuing a lot more tickets. At the very beginning of this, they were saying they were avoiding towing and ticketing. They didn't want to raise the level of violence. That has since changed. They said they are now going to be ensuring that there is a zero tolerance policy for illegal activity. And one of the things they've really been doing is cracking down on fuel. Over the last few days, what you've seen is pickup trucks going through the streets with their backs filled with jerry cans of fuel. We've even seen an oil tanker with fuel. And this, to put it into context, this is like Pennsylvania Avenue right outside the White House. This is literally a stone's throw from Parliament where elected officials are. This has been going on for 11 days. Now the city of Ottawa is in a state of emergency.
All right, Annie, thanks so much for joining us. Annie Bergeron-Oliver there from CTV News on the ground in front of the Capitol, in front of the Parliament. For more on the story, joining us also now from Ottawa is Bloomberg's Platt. Brian, what are the demands of these protesters, or what are the concerns? Is it strictly around vaccine mandates and mask wearing, or is it more like the yellow vest protests that we saw in France, where they have a broader range of ideas?
I think it's more like the yellow vest movement. I mean, it depends on who you're talking to, because I don't think that everybody here is reporting just to one, core organizing group. There is one group of people who claims to be the organizers, and they say they want an end to all mandates, all health restrictions. So that's not just talking about vaccine mandates. We're not just talking about the border measure on truckers. We're talking about all COVID-19 mandates, including mask mandates, including everything. Another group that helped organize the convoy here, wrote a bizarre memorandum of understanding saying they want a provisional government led by the Governor General, who's the Queen's representative in Canada. I mean, a totally unworkable demand, right? So one reason among many why politicians here say they can't just sit down and negotiate their way out of this is because the demands are not reasonable, in part because if you just end all restrictions, well, a lot of those restrictions are actually imposed by provincial governments, not even the federal government. So it's not even that they can get all that done just by federal politicians here, even if they were inclined to.